For any project that I've ever done, I always feel like the costume is such an enormous jumping off point. You're informed by the choices that the costume designer has made, that the director has made with the costume designer. So you're kind of on the same page then all of a sudden. And with Marvel, which was new for me, it was so much more collaborative than I think I had thought it was going to be.
Okay, vámonos!
This jacket is the first garment that we designed, and I had a conversation with Catherine very early on about her character, and we thought she is a covenless witch, and so we thought of her as a lone crow. And so we really leaned into that. You know, we created this very unique lapel that sort of is like the way that feathers lay together. In the belt, there's little hints at crow's feet. These little detail pin tucks here. And also in the back of the garment, there are many, many pleats. So we have actually a tail for the crow that is part of the pleating, but it blends in from afar.
This coat in particular I'm obsessed with because the lining is all runes.
We created this graphic of a murmuration of birds or crows that all are sort of swirling up here, and they dive down. And as they dive down, the birds start to transform into magic runes that we invented.
It's like bananas. So yeah, it also feels like a very sacred object.
The costume people are amazing, and it's very funny that Jennifer came to the road dressed like this, that she was like, all right, ready to go trek it in the road in my best silky pink. But the dress itself has like so many little details. Like there's mushrooms on here. There's like hands that are bound by rope because I myself am bound.
There's like lavender, and there's a mixing bowl, and there's stars and sort of elements of the celestial bodies that she's related to. And then we printed that in like a gold foil onto the dress.
We were looking at the history of pink, and pink used to be a very manly color. So even though Jen has her prissy moments, she also is very, very strong and very sure of herself. So I feel like this outfit kind of embodies that.
You look amazing.
I know.
Alice's look was a bit of a mystery to me at first. She is so protected, and she's covering for a lot of pain. And so we wanted to give her an armor and have her also have a bit of like a cyberpunk feeling about her. So we designed this jacket that has sort of all kinds of gack and metal quality to it. And we even created this image that's on the back that is based on, I think it's like a 7th century samurai poem that says, "Barns burnt down, now I can see the moon." There was all this fire element in her life. Her mother died in a hotel fire, and so the greatest pain of her life is actually painted on her back.
There's also this evil eye cutout that she has in her costume, and all of these amulets. That is the one thing that she's kind of taken from her mom. There's a stone that she wears that was her mother's, and I think in her one little nod to just in case my mom is right about all this, she's kept all these amulets on her.
If you're not trying to find her out here, why did you come with us?
She said the road would save me.
Daniel's done so much research. It's unbelievable. I'm in a traditional Sicilian shirt and palazzo pants and jacket from the 16th century. The detail in my coat, if you go up close and you see all of the symbols, it's stunning.
We wanted this to be a garment that felt like it was passed down to her through many generations. And we also wanted to have this shawl collar that would be a little bit of a showcase for some of these embroidered vignettes that we created. You know, we created like her child self sort of looking out at the horizon, an empty proscenium because Patti LuPone, come on. And we've got, you know, longevity and the timelessness of a never-ending life. She is over 450 years old.
How dare you?
And then this concept of women passing wisdom and knowledge to each other through water. There was so much about her character where she passes through time and space, and she is experiencing her life in these non-linear vignette moments. And so the eye is a central piece, and I love that it's always looking behind her because she's looking forward and seeing behind.
How long has it been? Centuries.
When we embarked on developing this show, there were priorities out of the gate, like hot ticket items. We needed to have wardrobe moments. We needed to have, big performance con moments for Agatha. And music. There needed to be music. We needed to bring the Lopez's back.
She told us it's going to be this ballad. And it's one of those songs that has lived forever. It starts hundreds of years ago. No one knows how it got made. But like all folk songs that are that old, it's almost like a legend. There's different versions of it. Everyone has their own version, and it tells a different story, and people argue about what it means.
Like any song, and actually like American music itself, it started maybe out of like the ritualistic spiritual world of psalms and hymns, and then it sort of evolved in New Orleans to the jazz and blues, and then that evolved into rock and roll, and then that evolved into pop versions. And the Ballad of the Witch's Road takes that same journey.
I really like making these puzzle box shows where you sort of have to come at it from all these different angles. And they are so up for that. They love that challenge. They love having to make sure that the lyrics fit all the different pieces of the story and that all the different iterations make sense and there's a through line, but they're all distinct. And it's such an enormous challenge, and they are such partners in that endeavor.
Your singing doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to match rhythm. So Bobby's down there working on boosting the click so that you guys can at least all feel the rhythm.
My puzzle brain loves being told by a writer that you need to put these 7 secrets inside the song. It needs to be able to be sung as a love ballad or as a sacred chant. Give me those assignments and let me just take elements from what you've given me, Wiccan sacred texts, old hymns. Let me mix it all together, and it's really fun. It's like the ultimate puzzle.
Burn and brew with Coven 2, and glory shall be thine.
The ballad clearly says, with Coven true, glory shall be thine.
No, it doesn't. It's Coven 2.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does if you're a student of the ballad.
There's a point at which I hand it off to Bobby, and then Bobby really has to take it all the way, not just through his own piano version or the version that we put in the computer. Then we have to perform it and create the demo. He does all the engineering for that. And that's only the beginning of the journey.
The first time we hear the ballad, it is hummed by Agatha, and we don't know what that tune will become, but it becomes integral to the entire show.
In that first episode, there's the true crime version, and it is almost like WandaVision. We hear a TV intro theme. Down, down, down the road, down the winding road. That one is like old-fashioned blues.
The next time we hear it is the sacred chant. And the sacred chant is a version that exists where Coven hands down to Coven.
All we need to do is sing the ballad, and a door will appear. And we'll be on our merry way to having all of our magical dreams come true. Okay?
In the show, there's this mythology that covens are fated, that they're drawn together by mysterious forces of fate, and that's definitely what happened with our casting process. We didn't actually seek out musical people. They just...
It's because this is the voice of our childhoods. This is like the most iconic voice on Broadway. It's incredible.
So fun, so fun. Make the magic, make the magic.
We said, Patty, what part do you want to sing? Do you want to do the low part? Do you want to do the middle? What do you want to do? And she's like, darling, I'm a soprano, and I do not sing backup. So put me on the top, baby.
We recorded the song in the studio, and Joe and I were there the same day Patty was not performing. It seemed like a performance. She was recording. But, I mean, she's hitting these high notes and, like, belting, and honestly, it was kind of rude because they put me and Joe after her, and I was like, why is this the order?